Hey everybody, sorry I'm running late today. I'm going to get the link posted here really quickly. Need to join, space, control V, space, shift, highlight, link, patience, edit, settings, open a new window, update, and update. And all right, so that's got that done. Let's go tweet this real quick while everybody loads in here. Apologize, I'm running behind today. Um, https://jollyrogerukulele.com. um, yeah, when you tweet and there's all this political news going up and down on Twitter, and then I'm like, hey, come to the ukulele class. It doesn't look exactly like I'm plugged in, but we're plugged in enough, right? We can take 45 minutes off from the rest of the world. Let's see. So let's make sure that the link was working properly, and then we'll get everybody in here, make sure the sound is good, get started on lesson number 3 today, which is we cover the Make It Better bar worksheet today, which is very exciting. It's a good piece of it's a good piece of lesson that we're going to tackle today, and we will end up being really smart musicians by the end of the day today. Okay, let's see. Who all's coming in here? Vic is in. She says the sound is good. It's the only thing I can never tell if the sound is working. When we first started these lessons, the sound every day was a bit of an adventure. But these days we've been doing pretty well. Mess up your speakers at the house. And I've got 2 microphones. Hopefully both of them are working well for us. And let me get my little gadget up and running. I keep my sheet music in this little thing I bought, and I hate it. I should have known, just spend the money on an iPad and get the right thing. But I thought I would save a few bucks, and it's been a dismal failure. Um, Luckily, these are the kind of failures that I have in life. Let's see. Donna's here. Donna's local. Good to see you, Donna. Bruce is in. Hey, Bruce. Good to see you, bud. Janice is in. Janice has to stay up late to come see these. Janice, I peeked through your Instagram yesterday. It was very exciting. I hear you have your horse's name is George. Is that what I understood? I was spying on you, Janice. Nancy is in. She's from Florida. Good to see you, Nancy. Dennis is in from Toronto. Managed to escape my granddaughter for a few minutes. You just set them in front of what do you do with a grand? I don't know what you do with grandkids. I have never had kids, and I babysat very little. All I know is when I do babysit, we have to go outside and run around. That's all I know how to do with kids. Diane in with the baritone. Oh, in with baritone today. Nice, Diane. Elizabeth, welcome in. Ready to play. Mary G is in from Golden. Good to see you guys. Apologize, I got a little bit of a late start of it today. I ran out after harmonica class and grabbed a sandwich, and I did a dumb thing. So hey, you're like, okay, I got 15 minutes. I can get my sandwich. So I run in there, get the bread out, put the egg salad that we'd made earlier, put that on there, and then I think, okay, while I'm eating this, I'll turn the TV on, and that was the end of it, right? And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god, look at all this stuff going on in our world, and so then I ended up being a tiny bit late. 100% on me. I apologize. Well, we're going to take a break from the news here for the next 40 minutes or so, and we are going to learn how to play ukulele. So, remember, if you are newer here, please feel free to just sit and listen. But if you do have a Gmail account, you can log into YouTube, and then you can use the chat bar over here, and that's where we're at. So let's talk about the last 2 lessons. If you missed lesson 1 or 2, it would be a real good idea for you to go into the video archive on the website jollyrogerukulele.com, and then look at Monday's lesson and Tuesday's lesson. Those are really foundational lessons, and pretty darn important that how come my pedal's not hooking up? Pretty darn important that that's plugging into your brain, and you're starting to make some sense of that. So what I'd like to do first, I'm going to grab a ukulele first. So baritone players, you know that you are going to be playing a different part for. We're going to look at Frere Jacques first and do a quick recap of that. My pedal is not cooperating. So grab your ukulele version of Frere Jacques. Baritone players, you're playing in the key of A, right? And so your chord looks like this, okay? And ukulele players, your chord looks like this. Okay, let's play together. Baritone players, this will sound cool because I'm the high voice and you're the low voice. I haven't checked my tuning. That's something I better do. You may have figured out if you're new to ukulele that every single time that you pick it up, it's out of tune, and so you have to always be tuning and tuning and tuning. That's why you need a good tuner and not the cheap one that came with your ukulele, because you want to be fast and efficient with it. All right, here we go. From the top. 1, 2, ready, play. Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez Martinez, sonnez Martinez, ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Okay, so that's how you strum it. Now, ukulele players, you're going to get rid of your chord. Baritone players, you're going to hang on to that chord. You're still going to use it, and you're going to back this up. We're going to play the melody quite a bit slower. Okay, so read your melody line, ukulele melody line. Ukulele players, you're playing one note at a time now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Something weird just happened with my face. Hold on. It's not, this is weird enough. It doesn't need any help. That's why I don't sing. From the top, 0, 2, 4, 0. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, fast, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, second string, first string. Okay, beautiful. So those are the two ways that we end up playing basically everything. And so we are going to be playing melody and chords, and then starting next week we're going to start combining those chords and melody and combining those two ideas into one idea. All right, baritone player, now let's switch over to the baritone sheet music. By the way, if you downloaded the baritone Frere Jacques already, you might want to re-download it. I reposted it today with measure numbers on it and that sort of thing, and I see already I've made a mistake on it. Don't do what I tell you to do. I got to make one more. I made a mistake on it. So let me grab a baritone and we'll just talk it through. I can't believe I made that mistake. All right, D, 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 G, B. This B string is going to be the death of me. Come on. I have these tuners on here from the 70s, and they are ridiculous. That string's not coming around. All right, ukulele players, your chord, you put a bar up and down on 4, pinky on 7. Okay, bar on 4, pinky on 7. You have a little bit harder one. You're gonna, and if you sound like that, it's fine. Okay, if you're looking to make it sound all pretty notes, squeeze a little bit harder with your thumb. But if it sounds like this, it's fine. You're just working as our drummer. And baritone players, your chord shape is here. Okay, let's do the same way. Let's all sing it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing. Ding, dang, dong. ding, dang, dong. Okay, now that sounds pretty cool, right? That if you're playing the same instrument as me, we sound like we're playing in unison. And if you are playing the opposite instrument, if you're playing a ukulele, for example, right now, it's going to sound really nice because you've got two separate voicings. Okay, ukulele players, I want you to continue to play your E chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and baritone players, we're going to play the melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string. First string, second string, first string. Now, hopefully that all of those ways you're at the point where you're mostly keeping up. If you're not keeping up, perfectly fine. Take some time to spend a little bit more time working on it over the next couple of days. On Friday is the day you want to have it together, right? That's the day you're like, okay, I really, really, really want to be able to play everything as a duet with Gary, keep up with all of the stuff. And so that's what you're working toward. Okay. Evening, afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is. Hey, Dave, good to see you. Now, what am I going to talk about? Let's talk about the not the Make a Better Bar stuff yet. Let's go to the Strumming in the Key of A Major. A little booklet. Where's my little booklet? There it is. So grab your little books. Okay. And remember, yesterday we went over the three main important chords in here. If you are on ukulele, your shape is A chord, D chord, and E7 chord. If you are on baritone, your chords are A chord, D chord, and E7. Okay, so I'd like to go to yesterday. I think we did London Bridges. Let's go grab. Let's grab Five Little Monkeys. Five Little Monkeys on page 6. We're going to practice with those 2 chords, and then we'll add in 3 chords, and then we'll play one song with 4 chords. Okay, so I'm on baritone, so I'm going to play these shapes, and if you're on ukulele, you play your shapes. We'll sound pretty nice together no matter what. If you're a baritone player, you're going to be playing with me at the same pitch, and we're going to sound like we're really doing a great job. If you're playing on ukulele, you are playing the high voicing, so it'll sound kind of interesting, hopefully, and make you feel like, yeah, I'm really getting this together. Okay, so remember, if you're on ukulele, A chord is going to switch to E chord and back to A, E7, A, E7, A, E7. Baritone players, you're lucky this time. You got A, E7, A, E7, A, E7. Let's play together. Five Little Monkeys. We'll do it. We won't do all the monkeys. We'll do a couple monkeys. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. Change. One fell off and bumped his head. Go back. Sent for the doctor. Doctor, he said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. 4 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Sent for the doctor, and doctor, he said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Last one. 1 little monkey jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Sent for the doctor, and doctor, he said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Okay, so now I'm playing it with a baritone that time. A, E7, A. Okay, but if you're playing with ukulele, you've got different chord shapes. Okay, let's go grab another 2-chord song. What's the other one I like? Where's the other one I like? A lot of these are dumb. Go grab Simple Gifts. Go grab Simple Gifts on page 13. Okay, I'm going to switch over to ukulele. Baritone, remember, same two chords, A and E7. Okay. You got baritones, you're an A and E7, just the same. Okay. And all you're doing is sliding your middle finger back and forth to get those. Ukulele players, the same setup. A chord is here, E7, A, E7, A, E7, A, E7, A, E7. All right. Simple gifts. 1, 2, 3. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down to where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place that is right, it will be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we won't be ashamed. To turn, turn and turn, it will be our delight, till by turning and turning we come round right. Okay, beautiful. Jen says, when I strum down with my nail, it sounds tinny. Could I be strumming too hard? No, probably when you're strumming with your nail, it should sound tinny, right? So let me see if I can give you a good example. And again, one of the things that's very difficult with the current state of things are that my sound is going into a microphone. It's being processed by an audio interface. It's being stuck into my computer, which is then reprocessing it and sending it into the internet. Then that sound is being sent to YouTube, and they're reprocessing the sound, and they're putting it back into the internet, and they're sending it to your house. And then when it gets to your house, it's being processed by your computer, and then it's being kicked out to your speakers. Okay. Now, if you think about that, that's incredible that can happen at all. But what it does mean also is that the sound it has a lot of places where things can get less awesome. Okay. So I'm going to show you thoughts about getting good tone based on your attack strategy, and then I want to talk about being realistic about where you are at in your development. Okay, so if I take my thumb and I play, let me put on the A chord. Okay, you get this. It's very soft and beautiful, easy to get along with. But if I switch to my nail, a lot tinnier sound to it, a lot harsher, and sometimes you'll want one or the other. It's not, mostly you want this soft one, but if you switch to your nail, it's a little harsher. If you play down here toward the bottom of your instrument, it's a different harshness to it, right? This is almost old-time radio feeling to it. So what I recommend when in the beginning, and when you're learning, when you're getting all your skill set in place and getting where you're starting to get a comfort level with this, whatever sound your ukulele is making is fine. It's fine at that moment. But as you become more proficient, you'll start to want to pick certain sounds over another. Most of the time, I love that sound. Occasionally, that type of sound sounds better to me. Okay, sometimes I want to get my nails on there and make some tinnier, I guess. I like your thought there. Okay, this is my nails. A lot more specific, a lot harsher. Okay, and sometimes I do play down here. I never play above middle of the string though. But that's with my nails in the middle. It's a nice kind of a mixture of tinny and soft. Right? Okay. And then, of course, with your pad coming up, yet another sort of overall sound quality. And if I come up with my nail, I don't have my nail. I did a number on my nails yesterday. I ended up overdoing it, cutting off my nail yesterday. So, so Janice, what I would say is at this moment, I wouldn't be overly concerned about your tone. I think that you've got to get your skill set fully in place. And then once that skill set's in place, you'll start picking which tone you want. And just because you sound tinny doesn't necessarily mean you sound bad. For if I'm singing simple gifts, I might want one type of tone. If I'm singing I'll be on top of spaghetti, I might want a different type of tone, right? One's a comic song, one is a thoughtful, almost Buddhist feeling to it. And so I think you wanna just be okay with whatever tone's coming out of your ukulele right now. And then if you a song you love and you want to sit down, you'll say, all right, I'm going to use these other techniques that I'm learning to see if I can get a different tone out of that. And so be adventurous and be accepting of the tones that you're making, knowing that over time, you're going to start messing with good tones and bad tones. I am not at all averse to putting in some kind of harsher, weirder tones into things from time to time. So there's that. That's good. It's a great question. Hey, I'm getting weird tone. I'm not sure. The other thing that affects your tone, of course, is your instrument, and mostly when you're getting tone, whatever tones are coming out of it is because of you. But there is 10-15% of that's your ukulele. If you're playing with a very small, very inexpensive ukulele, you're going to get one particular type of tone. If you're playing with a $3,000 instrument, you're going to be getting another type of tone. And if you are playing with white strings, you'll get one type of tone that's not necessarily great. If you're playing with fluorocarbon, you'll get a much prettier tone out of that instrument. And so there are lots of other issues that come along. The main issue is your playing skills, and those we're going to be developing them over the next 6 weeks, so that you then are in charge of your tone. And honestly, my students that are more advanced, we spend most of our time talking about tone. And trying to figure out, is that the tone you want for this particular section in this particular song, and why? And so we spend a lot of time talking about, are you telling the story you want to be telling? And when we're newer, we're just trying to get the song in, right? And so hopefully that's helpful. Connie's in from Broomfield. That's local. That's over there. Good to see you, Connie. All right. So Janice, hopefully that gave you a little bit of a thought. Okay. Don't judge yourself yet, I think is what I just said. All right, let's do one 3-chord song. On the back of the book, page 16, you have You Are My Sunshine. Hey, Greg, welcome in. Good to see you. So we've got You Are My Sunshine on page 16. It's a 3-chord song. So we're going to be playing ukulele players. You've got your A chord, your D chord, and your E7 chord. Okay, baritone players, your shapes are A chord, D chord, and E7. Okay, so baritone, oddly enough, you guys are a little bit lucky on this particular book because your chords are a little easier than the ukulele players, right? So we'll play through this one time with ukulele, and then I will pick one more song and we'll play through it with baritone, and then we'll go on to today's lesson. Today's lesson is fairly short, so we're fine. All right, I'm on a ukulele. If you're on a baritone, you play your chords. I'm going to play my chords, and we're going to sound great together. This is... this particular arrangement, it has all 3 of the verses. There's a happy verse, and then another happy verse, and then a super sad verse, and then you're supposed to finish with the happy verse. What I like to do is I like to do the first verse, the second verse, and then the first verse again. And I skip that third verse, which is too sad. Okay, so let's play verse 1, then verse 2, then verse 1. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm sorry. There's only a 1 beat count in. 1. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Get ready to change. You make me happy. When skies check are gray. Sorry. Change. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Let's go on to verse 2. I'll always love you. be there for you. I will protect you and keep you safe. You are my dream, dear. You are my sunshine. Please don't take my sunshine away. Then back to the first verse. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay. So those are 3 chords. If you're struggling with getting the chord on in time, there's 2 things that are happening there. One, just your fingers are just not quite familiar yet with the shape it needs to make, and it's taking you a little longer to get them on than you should. The other thing that's probably happening is you're waiting too long to switch to the next chord. So if I'm on you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. I'm thinking right now I got to get to D because I'm kind of slow. You make me happy. Let me get the D chord on. You make me happy. And then I'm already changing. And when skies are gray, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. It's perfectly fine when you're starting to just strum once for each chord so that you can get used to being ready and able to strum when it's your time. So in other words, you're not falling asleep on your current chord. That's something that most of us do when we're learning is we're like, okay, I'm playing an A chord. And then when you're busy singing along and all of a sudden you're like, oh crud, now I've got to be on D chord. It's going to take me 14 minutes to get over there. By the time I get my D chord on, they're already on to the next chord. And so give yourself permission to only strum once or twice and then be ready when it's the first beat of the next chord. And I call that not falling asleep on your current chord. Just be always reading 1 chord or even 2 chords ahead so that you have your chord on by the time you get there. That's what I see more than anything with newer players and struggling with strumming and singing is they're hanging out on their first chord way, way, way too long. If I'm on A, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Make me, oh crud, I'm supposed to be on D already. It takes 20 minutes. Happy when skies are take forever and gray. That's fine when you're home by yourself, but when you're playing in a duet situation or when you go to your local ukulele strum along, that's not gonna cut it, right? So you got to be ready with the next chord when it's time, and that means doing less with the previous chord, and it really does work. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Ukulele brain, baritone brain, ukulele brain, baritone brain. So don't fall asleep on the current chord. Get on to the next chord by the time it's time to be on that chord. So that means abandoning your current chord much sooner, and always be reading ahead a little bit to see what tragedies are about to befall you. And I think that will help. And then also remembering always, you want to be strumming with the beat. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You see how this is just a drum beat? You make me happy when skies are gray. Okay, that's what you want to do. The other time when people are singing and strumming, they get in trouble. They want to strum with the speed of the music. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear. That's not what you want to do. Okay, so irrelevant what's going on in the music, keep the beat steady and you'll be a much more successful strummer. All right, let's do one other song with baritone, and let's do a couple versus a kookaburra. So go to major. No, that's a lie. Don't do that one. That one gets a little messy. Let's go to. I'm saving On Top of Spaghetti for Friday. You want to look at On Top of Spaghetti. Let's do This Little Light of Mine on page 14. Page 14, This Little Light of Mine. As you're practicing this week, take a look at On Top of Spaghetti. That's my favorite song in the book, I think. We'll play that on Friday. Okay. All right. So This Little Light of Mine starts with your A chord. Remember, ukulele players, here's your A chord, here's your D chord, and here's your E7 chord. Okay. And for baritone, here's our A chord, D chord, E7, A. Okay. Let's play together. Ukulele players, this should sound cool because you've got a different voicing. 1, 2, 3, 4. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Okay, so again, what the main things that I'm working on here are keeping the beat steady, and in that case, I was just plucking all the strings, but you can definitely strum them this way. You can strum them with this one. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, right? That's much more energetic. This is much softer. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. You can also do one thumb, index, middle, index. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Right. So be very creative and adventurous with your right hand. Don't let somebody tell you there's a right strum pattern for some song. There are no. What's right is what makes sense to you, and I just want you to have the tools to play all of those different ways. All right, lots of work on this book. Tomorrow we'll play a couple more songs out of there. We might tackle Kookaburra. We might tackle, and there's one other Vive la Company has four chords in it. But tomorrow, if I forget, hopefully I won't, but you'll remind me, we need to go through A, F sharp minor, D, and E as a group so we can write a song. Okay, and let me give you an example of what that's going to look like. I'm going to use baritone chords. This is an A chord, this is an F sharp minor, this is the D chord, and this is E7. If it was 1950, every song that I wrote would sound like this. Da-da-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum. So you can use that pattern, those four chords on the front of the book, to go round and round and round and round and round until you have something that's a song, right? Same thing with the ukulele. Bum, ba-da-ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-dum, ba-dum. Okay, so you can start writing your own music, and what we want to do is get to a point where every ukulele player is just writing their own music because we have basically no repertoire that's our own. People just have not written for ukulele. Ukulele is only 100 years old, but in those 100 years, nobody's bothered to really kill it on ukulele. We have Aloha Oi and we have 5'2". Those are two that were probably almost for sure written on ukuleles, and we just that's our list. So we need a few more songs written on ukulele for ukulele that are awesome. All right. Hey, Linda, welcome in. All right. So now last bit of today's exercises is a new thing. And we're going to do the Make a Better Bar worksheet. Doesn't matter which instrument you have. Just grab your version of Make a Better Bar. Okay. I'm going to use a baritone because it's bigger to show you what I want to do, and then we'll do each instrument separately. But it's going to be cacophonous. It's not necessarily going to sound great no matter which instrument you're on here, because we're going to be doing an exercise that you need to have in order to successfully play the music that we're going to be playing down the road, and that is your Make a Better Bar. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is on your sheet, let me go grab it. You will see I have given you the tablature and the sheet music and the chord and the names, and then we go down through measure 14 or so, and then we start coming back down. You don't really have to look at the piece of paper, but you do have to understand the basic concept here. What it is we're going to take these 4 fingers, the thumb on top of the 4th string, index finger underneath the 3rd string, middle finger underneath the 2nd string, and ring finger underneath the 1st string. So like this. And don't pile them up on top of each other like this. That's not going to work. You want them at an angle. Okay? That way they don't run into each other. Okay, and just play this a few times. Thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring. And on your sheet music it says PIMA, which is the old classical guitar naming. Pulgar, indice, medio, annular. I-M-A. P-I-M-A. Diane, I think it's at the bottom of the page. The ukulele and baritone tab, I think. I've got them over there. I think. I'll have to double check for you, Diane. Okay. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Bum. So we're just doing that. Okay. That's one of the things we're going to do on this paper. Then we're going to do the opposite of that. A, M, I, P, ring, middle, index, thumb, 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 ring, middle, index, thumb. Okay, and you want to try to get as soft and patient as you can. When you first start, this is hard to do. Your fingers are crazy. They're just going to be like, what are you doing? They're going to be real resistant to this. So do it a lot. Okay. This pattern, the ring, index, middle, index, thumb, or the opposite pattern, thumb, index, middle, ring, is going to come up all of the time when we get to weeks 4 and beyond. Okay. So we're just getting you started with getting your hand where it's going to cooperate with you. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure you have good posture. Okay. So we talked about this on day 1. Ukulele should not be horizontal. That's wrong. Okay. Should be up here like this. Okay. And your thumb is back here. Not going to see your thumb ever. There's no point on any ukulele anywhere in the world where you need to wrap your thumb up around here. It will never happen. Okay. So your thumb is back here. Ukulele's here. I'm going to try to get where I'm in the screen a little better. Okay. Now we're going to take this finger. This is your bar. Okay. And this is going to turn out to be an essential part of your thing that you have to do as an instrumentalist. When you are just singing and strumming and a bar chord comes by, you're like, oh, I hate bar chords. But when you're an instrumentalist, this is an incredibly helpful tool. And you're like, bar chords, sweet. Okay. Right, guys? All right. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it behind the nut. Okay. So that's a 0. Okay. And we're going to go thumb, index, middle, ring. Now we're going to slide this one up to the next fret. And guys, we're in different keys. Ukulele players, you're in one key, and I'm in a different key. Don't worry about that. We're going to sound terrible together. It's okay. Now you put this bar in one, kind of toward the front. Don't get on top of the metal bar, but just right behind it. Okay, right there. And then I'm squeezing pretty hard with my thumb, and then I'm going to play thumb, index, middle, ring. Okay, then I'm going to move to the next fret. Okay, thumb, index, middle, ring. Okay, next fret. We're on 4. And then move to 5. Okay, now I've been pausing between each one, so now I'm going to stop pausing, go to measure 6, and we're just going to go all the rest of the way down to 12. Okay, from 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb, index, middle, ring. 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 Thumb. Now, when we hit 12, first of all, your left hand's going, ow, this hurts. I don't like this. Believe me, it all hurts all of us in the beginning, but you'll get toughened up pretty quickly by doing this, and it won't hurt anymore. I guess I shouldn't say that. Right now, my hand's like, ow. Okay. Then, when you get to 12, when we do thumb, index, middle, ring, you're going to turn it immediately around. Ring, middle, index, thumb. Then move this back to 11. Ring, middle, index, thumb. Move it back to 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so now that was on baritone. Same exact process applies to ukulele. The only difference when you're doing this solo by yourself, it doesn't sound as bad as when we're doing it together. Okay, again, I'm going to do it with ukuleles now, and baritone players, you're going to end up saying, "Man, that sounds wrong." No, it's not wrong. It's just that we're playing different keys, and that we're just working on a technique here. Okay, so start on 0, thumb, index, middle, ring, all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb, index, middle, ring. 1. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, we're on going to 5. 5, dun, dun. 6, index, middle, ring. Thumb, 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 index, middle, ring, thumb, and then I'm going to turn it around. Ring, middle, index, thumb, 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 ring, middle, index, thumb. Okay, so if we were on baritone, you just sounded like we didn't make a great duet at all. But if you're on ukulele, you're like, okay, I get it. Okay, what we're really working on is thumb, index, middle, ring, getting that smooth, and ring and getting that smooth. That's one thing we're working on. And the other thing we're working on is getting your bar tighter and better. In the beginning, you probably get a lot of this, right? And as you get better, and that's what you're after. Okay, we'll take a little while to get there. And then when you're all done, you go, ow, Okay, this is a critical part of being a ukulele instrumentalist, is just shaking the blood back into your thumb. All right, now let's talk about the future. What you should be practicing. One, you should be coming to next hour. That's where we're practicing some pretty legit, pretty hard music. Second is I would be playing every single song in this book on Friday. We for sure will be playing on top of spaghetti, and then we might take a couple requests. If you guys have a couple songs in here that you want to work on, we can do that. If you don't know a particular song, you'll go listen to it on YouTube. Just pick a few versions of it, listen to it a few times, and then you'll see what's going on. Um, and then you're also working on Frere Jacques. We want that thing. We want to knock that out like nobody's business. We want it to be just absolutely stunningly beautiful, because it is the key to everything else. And then tomorrow we're going to put in some time on the scales, okay? So that by the time you're done with week 1, you have a song that you are playing in multiple ways. You have 30 songs you're strumming. You're playing you're playing this very advanced a technique of building your bar up, and then you're also putting your first scale together so that the music will start to make a little bit more sense. And then you will be set up perfectly to go into next week when we start doing chord and melody together. When we take the melody and we take the chords and we smash them together. So that's what starts happening next week. That's when you start sounding really, really legit. So if you'll hang out with me until next week, make sure you're showing up. And if you can't show up, go grab off of the website the video archive. Every single day I post yesterday's video on there. All right. And so right now, Mondays and Tuesdays are there, lesson 1 and lesson 2. You can go grab those and watch those. And then to Diane's question, hey, where are my circle of fifths? And if you're brand new, you're like, what the heck's the circle of fifths? I wouldn't worry about it yet. But Diane, they are on the ukulele and baritone tab, and they're down at the very bottom of that page, are your circle of fifths. So that's where those are sitting. And questions, comments, and concerns. Otherwise, you're off on your day. Let's see. Mary G says, could I just use one finger on each string on the left hand? Could I just use one finger on each string? Are you saying like this? The answer is no. You will do that once in a while, very rarely. It would be awesome if you could. The reason you don't want to do that is you're going to make this shape, and you're going to be making this shape, and you're going to be making this shape, and this shape, and you'll be making this shape, and you'll be making that shape. And so you can see these fingers are going to have jobs that they need to get done. And the only way for them to do their job is for this guy to do all of the other jobs. And so, yeah, so I understand. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, I can do this way better. But no, you could do that once in a while. There are some times when we have a song with this chord and then we add that melody note on, but it's pretty limited. We need to be able to do stuff with these other fingers. So great thinking, Mary. That's using your head. Ray, back reviewing, need it. Okay, good to see you, Ray. Yeah, and those of you guys who are here a second or third time, that's not dumb, right? That is awesome that you're coming back. Just double checking that everything that you thought I said the first time is what got into your head. So have a wonderful day, you guys. We'll start the tough ukulele at 1 o'clock here, which is 7 minutes from now, and come sit in on that class too, and just start to get a sense of what the big scary music looks like. And what I do say, and I do want to be clear on this. If you're new to music, this first time through can be a little overwhelming. I can assure you that the way to get it where it's not overwhelming is to continue to show up. Most people that I know who have no music background at all usually take this intro thing twice and then they're in pretty good shape. For some of you who've had a little bit of music in your background, probably a lot of this feels very familiar, but the technique might be a little bit different, and that's why you need to go through this level. But every piece of sheet music that I post and write has multiple levels, multiple ways to attack them. And so there's no reason why, even if you're brand new, you can't be taking the more advanced music and at least looking at it and messing around with parts of it, and have realistic expectations about what you can and can't do. I will tell you, if you stick with me for 6 weeks, you will play better than anybody else in your neighborhood. period. There is very few people that get to the level that I teach you at in this short amount of time. And then, of course, once you get through the 6-week program, then it's the rest of your life. And I know, like, Diane is here, and she's been playing with me for years and years, and she's now switching from ukulele to baritone, or at least wanting to do both. And Diane has been with me for many, many years, and she started off, learning this stuff. Now she's playing all this way crazy advanced music. But coming back, hey, I've got a baritone. I'm going to double check that I know what I'm doing on it. And this is a really effective way to do it. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Go out and do something randomly awesome for somebody. Make sure you're being safe. It's still crazy out there. It's super crazy out there. And practice a little bit and keep showing up. Like and subscribe to the video. They send me a free puppy at some point if you like them enough. And then I will see all of you tomorrow, or I'll see a few of you in the next hour. Have a great afternoon. Janice says plenty to practice on. Yeah, we're day 3 and you're already overloaded with stuff to practice. That's how we roll. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.